All right, let's talk more about Republicans not caring about free speech and being able to dish but not take. So, I have here from everyone's favorite news network, CNN. House GOP moves swiftly to punish Rep. Al Green for disrupting Trump's speech. If you don't remember, just the other day during Trump's joint address, Representative Al Green was escorted out. He was ordered out by Speaker Johnson for interrupting Trump's address. What he was interrupting about and what he was saying, he was essentially saying, you have no mandate. You have no mandate to cut Medicare. This dude is standing up saying, hey, you don't have a mandate to cut Medicare. Why are you cutting Medicare? And Republicans start chanting USA, start chanting all over him, and then Speaker Johnson kicks him out. Here's the video. We're not going to watch it in this one. If you want to see it, look at my video I just uploaded yesterday. We watched it and went over it. And so, yeah, just remember, this man was standing up for the massive Medicare and Medicaid cuts. And then we also went over in that video how Republicans were calling him an insurrectionist and how if a Republican did that, they would be in jail and all this, which is nonsense because MTG and Lauren Boebert interrupted Biden's State of the Union and they didn't get kicked out. There was some Republican in like 2009 that interrupted Obama's. He didn't get kicked out. These guys are cowards. Okay, they're cowards. And at least for Joe Biden's, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert were chanting, build the wall. And then Biden, instead of just signaling to get him out of there, like Trump did multiple times in the video, he, kind of laid out his super right-wing border plan to address your border concerns that you guys ended up voting down anyways because Trump told you to. Does Trump respond to Al Green at all? Try to correct the record and say, hey, we're not trying to cut that, or try to, which isn't true. He's not even trying to lie about it anymore because he knows that they're cutting it. He's too coward to respond or even give a statement afterwards like, you don't have to worry about your Medicare. We're going to make it great. He doesn't even have the gall to do that anymore because he knows he's wrong. So before you go and shit on Al Green and call whatever, just know he was standing up so that the government doesn't cut Medicare and Medicaid. Remember that. Oh boy. Okay. House Republicans are moving quickly to punish Texas Democrat who was removed from the House chamber for repeatedly disrupting President Donald Trump's speech. GOP Rep. Daniel Newhouse on Wednesday formally introduced a censure resolution against Rep. Al Green, who was removed by the House Sergeant at Arms after standing up and shouting during the opening minutes of Trump's speech to Congress. Speaking on the House floor, Newhouse, a Washington state Republican, said he was seeking punishment against Green, a formal condemnation once considered rare in the House chamber for his numerous interruptions of the president's speech. What a coward, man. He was standing up for Medicare, and you are going to vote to censure him. The House is expected to hold a vote to censure Green on Thursday, according to a GOP aide. This was beyond the pale. It went on, disrupting the entire evening, so I felt it had to be responded to. Disrupted the entire evening? It went on for like 5 minutes until he was escorted out. Oh my God. We have to uphold the expectations of decorum here, or else what are we? We have nothing other than a club that everybody comes and yells at each other. That's how it should be, honestly. Have you ever seen like how it is in Australia and like British Parliament and shit? They just sit there and like yell and scream at each other. It's kind of entertaining. Like it actually shows passion instead of these spineless cowards just with no brain, no critical thinking on both sides. Because I have a lot to say about the Democrats about this too. But yeah, all the Republicans just chanting USA. Like, it's so stupid, man. All right. House Democrats failed to block an effort to kill the proposed censure on Wednesday, paving the way for the vote to go forward. It's a big moment for Newhouse, a GOP centrist who previously drew the ire of some of his party for voting to impeach Trump in 2021 and has done little to draw attention to himself since surviving a competitive election against a fellow Republican last cycle. So this dude, he's bending the knee, kissing the ring, trying to make up for what he did. What a coward, man. You guys are so spineless. It's insane. But the maneuver from Newhouse, which appears to be blessed by House GOP leaders, angered some conservatives in the House who had been in talks with Legislative Council about their own resolution. According to multiple people who were involved in drafting the competing resolution, they privately argued that Newhouse was simply trying to avoid a challenge from his right. Outside of the Capitol, multiple Republican campaign operatives are talking to Newhouse's move as a sign he will not retire this cycle, as some privately wondered, after he fended off GOP challenger last cycle by 6 points. So let me get this straight. They're not upset because he's doing this silly censure for someone who's trying to, defend Medicare and Medicaid from being cut. They're mad because they were trying to do it themselves first. They were trying to get Daddy Trump's approval and brownie points first. Jesus. These people are pathetic. Newhouse, though, denied he was trying to bolster his standing among Trump supporters. Bullshit. This is about the House of Representatives, Congress, and respecting the rules of decorum. That we have it. You know it. It could be any president, any member. This is bigger in any particular relationship, Newhouse told reporters. Where were you? Where were you when... I don't know if you were elected during that outburst of MTG, but where were you then? You going to acknowledge that happened? Because Democrats didn't vote to censure them. They didn't even escort them out. You guys are just cowards, and you hate free speech unless it's for you. Oh, man. I don't know how these people sleep at night. House officials expect the measure to be privileged, which would give it special procedural powers that require it to receive a floor vote within 2 legislative days. Republicans expect the vote to come up later Wednesday, but it has not yet been decided according to people familiar with the plans. And just know, this whole, it takes time for these Republicans to have complete control of their government to start doing the good things. It takes time. Look how quick they move when it comes to passing massive tax cuts that overwhelmingly benefit the wealthy. And look how fast they move for bullshit like this. If Democrats are smart, they would be proposing legislation every single week for universal health care, single payer system, or something along those lines. A federal minimum wage that's actually a living wage. Something to address the housing crisis, make housing affordable again. They would be proposing this legislation every week, not because it would pass, but because you can run on these monsters who said, no, you can't have free healthcare. Absolutely not. You should be price gouged by your insurance company. People who say, no, you shouldn't have a living minimum wage. Even if you work full time, 2-3 jobs sometimes, you don't deserve to make enough to live if you work. You should be proposing this, just the most based legislation, because I know most of them don't even believe in it. Most of them don't, save AOC, what's her name? Jasmine Crockett? I'm so sorry if that's not your name, but you've been amazing. Bernie, obviously. Most don't. And it's not going to pass. So why not just sign your name on it and get some brownie points and at least stick it to Republicans? That would be such a strong thing to run on, and how Republicans keep killing these bills for a higher minimum wage, free health care, building affordable houses. You could hammer that on them every single day, but you guys don't. You show up to Trump's joint address and you hold your little signs that say, don't cut Medicare, don't cut Medicaid. And you see someone from your party actually stand up and, call that out. Not afraid. Big balls on Al Green. And you all just sit there. A lot of them were looking away I don't know this dude. Who's this guy? Is he supposed to be here? Cowards. This should have been, every single Democrat should have stood up with Green. And if they didn't, as soon as he's escorted out, someone else should have stood up. And when they're escorted out, someone else should have stood up. Insanity. Cowards. Democrats are cowards. This is why your party only has a 22% approval rating. Because you let Republicans beat the living hell out of you on a daily basis. And you don't know how to fight the modern fight. You're still fighting you're in the freaking 90s, dude. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't even know where I am anymore. But I'm just going to start from this. House officials expect to. Okay, no. That's where we left off. Green said Wednesday he was not angry with the Speaker, office of the House, or members bringing the resolution, telling reporters, I will suffer the consequences. But I must. Sorry, my dog is ripping up a freaking toy. But I must add this. What I did was from my heart. People are suffering. And I was talking about Medicaid. I didn't just say you don't have a mandate. I said you don't have a mandate to cut Medicaid, he said. House Minority Leader Jeffries told CNN earlier this week that the overwhelming majority of Democrats approach their speech with seriousness. When asked about Republicans wanting to censure Green and whether that's appropriate, Jeffries said, I haven't had that conversation with anyone. What do you mean you haven't had that conversation with everyone? Just say how ridiculous and stupid it is. I'm pretty sure Jeffries came out afterwards and said, like, we want to, like, be kind of silent. We don't want to make any outbursts or anything. Oh my God, no wonder the American people hate you. You could stand up for all the right ideas or just the better ideas than Republicans, and you're still hated because you don't know how to compete or deliver your message. Democrats do not plan to whip members against the censure resolution, allowing lawmakers to vote how they want, according to a person familiar with the matter. Insane. For some centrist Democrats, the censure vote puts them in an uncomfortable spot of defending a fellow member's outburst during a president's speech. Green wasn't the only one who staged a protest. Several other progressive Democrats walked out, shouted back at the president from their seats, and held up signs despite guidance from the party leadership to remain restrained in their response to keep focus on Trump. Yep, there it is. Jesus. Jeffries needs to step down, man. Oh my goodness. Coward. Coward. The House Freedom Caucus announced on X earlier in the day that they were drafting a resolution as another rep. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I also looked up previous censures in Congress, and it happens so rare. So rare. And they're normally for at least, like, somewhat decent reasons. 1983. Censured for engaging in sexual relationship with House pages. All right. Seems reasonable. Censured for multiple ethics violations, including improper solicitation of funds and failure to pay taxes on a rental property. Makes sense. This one was, I think this one was silly for falsely pulling a fire alarm. Wasn't that an accident? Did it look intentional? I don't remember. Anyways, I guess that's a better reason than shutting down someone who, is trying to make sure your Medicare and Medicaid doesn't get cut. Here's just some other cases. I'm not going to read them all. Adam Schiff, censured for his role in the investigation into former President Trump and allegations of misleading the public regarding Trump-Russia ties. That seems kind of silly, in hindsight, because just look at Donald Trump and his Russian ties that are all out in the open now. No disputing it now. Back then, you could at least make an argument. I wasn't big on the whole Russia thing, but man, now there's no debating it. So, yeah, it's crazy to me how this party is just so shameless in their lies. But, yeah, again, shame on Democrats for being cowards. Just shame on Democratic leadership. When our democracy falls, number one reason is going to be Donald Trump. Number two reason is going to be Hakeem Jeffries. And the number three reason is going to be Chuck Schumer. Because these people are the worst opposition I've ever seen in my life. And, yeah, yeah, that's all I have. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.